Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Juan and I am going to present about my dinner table. But hold on, what exactly is the dinner table? This dinner table is an event where 5 historical figures are going to arrive and where we will talk a little about them and ask them a few questions. Here you can see our guests today: Adolf Hitler, dictator of Nazi Germany during World War II; Erwin Rommel, German field marshal; Napoleon Bonaparte, Emperor of France and strategist; Nikola Tesla, world-famous inventor; and Albert Einstein, world-famous physicist. For dinner today we have a delicious combination of pork steak, mashed potatoes, and an additional sauce. Really, the only reason why I chose this food is to annoy Hitler, because he is vegan. But now, let's get to what's important. I'm going to start talking a little bit about our guests and the questions. Adolf Hitler was an Austrian-born German politician who was the dictator of Germany. He rose to power as the leader of the Nazi Party, becoming the Chancellor in 1933 and then taking the title of Führer und Reichskanzler in 1934. During his dictatorship, he initiated World War II in Europe by invading Poland on the 1st of September 1939. He was closely involved in military operations throughout the war and was central to the perpetration of the genocide of about 6 million Jews and millions of other victims. Now, let's get to the questions. Why did you hate the Jews?
They were traitors, and calling them an enemy in my propaganda gave a cause to my side.
Why did you protected Edward Bloch if you thought that all the Jewish were traitor of the country?
He was different. He saved my life, and he was very nice with our family all the time.
What do you think your life and decisions would have been like if you had achieved a successful career as an artist?
I would not have done what I did. My ideas would not have changed, and I would surely have written a couple books about my extremist ideas. But I think I would never have invaded a country.
Now, let's talk about Erwin Rommel. Johannes Erwin Eugen Rommel was a German field marshal during World War II, popularly known as the Desert Fox German, Westenfuchs. Pronounced, he served in the Wehrmacht of Nazi Germany, as well as serving in the Reichswehr of the Weimar Republic and the Army of Imperial Germany. Now, let's get to the questions. Did you really support the German regime? We can't know his exact answer. There's evidence that tells that Erwin Rommel supported Hitler's ideas, and there's evidence that states that Rommel was a good German. Were you part of Operation Valkyria? Again, we cannot be completely sure of his possible answer. It is known that he spoke with a couple of people who were involved in the failed assassination attempt. It was never really known if he explicitly participated. How did you die?
Hitler somehow had some kind of affection for me. He never wanted to assassinate me publicly. One day, 2 generals came to my house and gave me the option of committing suicide or being publicly executed. I took the option of suicide, and they gave me a pill of cyanide.
Now, let's talk about Napoleon Bonaparte. Napoleon Bonaparte, later known by his royal name Napoleon I, was a French soldier and politician of Italian origin born in Corsica, who rose to prominence during the French Revolution and led successful campaigns during the Revolutionary Wars. He was the de facto leader of the French. More questions, YP. If you could go back in time and change a single decision you made during your administration, what would it be and how do you think it would have altered the course of history?
It definitely would have been not just in the origin the Battle of Waterloo. Me illness been then it was very difficult to cope with cancer. He decided to go and rest while leaving me second in command in what he was recovered. He realized that he had made a suicidal charge and we lost.
Your exile on the island of St. Helena, you spent a lot of time reflecting on your legacy and your actions. If you could reach out to the contemporary world and offer one lesson or advice, based on your life and leadership experiences, what would it be and why?
And determination are powerful quality, however they must be well balanced. He showed this many times and even when he lost the power and glory can be ephemeral.
If you had access to today's modern technologies during your time in power, How do you think they would have influenced your military and political strategies?
I have always been a fan of innovation and new technology. Rare moderno is very different of my time. Moderno is too different from an Napoleonic battle of line. Rare would have been willing to adapt and be a general using modern strategy.
Interesting answers. Now let's talk about Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla was a Serbian-American inventor, electrical engineer, mechanical engineer, and futurist. He is known for his contributions to the design of the modern alternating current electricity supply system. Attempting to develop inventions he could patent and market, Tesla conducted a range of experiments with mechanical oscillators, generators, electrical discharge tubes, and early X-ray imaging. He also built a wirelessly controlled boat, one of the first ever exhibited. Tesla became well known as an inventor and demonstrated his achievements to celebrities and wealthy patrons at his lab. Okay, now let's make some questions. If you could witness one modern technological advancement that has developed since your time, which one do you think would impress you the most and why?
More than a technological advance, I would love to see how it has impacted my discoveries, to see the wonders they have managed to do with my formulas and inventions.
It is known that you had a deep connection with pigeons, and that you went so far as to claim that you had a special relationship with them. How do you think this connection influenced your work and worldview?
Pigeons taught me the importance of perseverance, observation, and connection with nature. Their ability to navigate inspired me in the development of technologies such as navigation, systems, and more efficient engines.
Your obsession with wireless power transmission is known around the world. Although your Wardenclyffe Tower was not completed as planned, do you think humanity will eventually adopt wireless power transmission on a large scale?
Despite all the progress that has been made in recent years, something stronger is human greed. The electric companies would never let there be a device that could guarantee free electricity for everyone as I always wanted. I should not say that it is impossible, but human greed has no limits.
Now, let's talk about our final guest, Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein was a German-born theoretical physicist who is widely held to be one of the greatest and most influential scientists of all time. Best known for developing the theory of relativity, Einstein also made important contributions to quantum mechanics, and was thus a central figure in the revolutionary reshaping of the scientific understanding of nature that modern physics accomplished in the first decades of the 20th century. His mass-energy equivalence formula equals mc2, which arises from relativity theory, has been called the world's most famous equation. He received the 1921 Nobel Prize in Physics for his services to theoretical physics, and especially for his discovery of the law of the photoelectric effect. Good. Now let's get to my favorite part, the equations. Albert, your theory of relativity transformed our understanding of space, time, and gravity. If you could travel back in time and observe any historical event, which one would you choose and why?
Would choose to witness the moment the Big Bang occurred. Observing the birth of the universe and understanding its foundations from the beginning would be a fascinating experience, and could provide a deeper understanding of the laws that govern our universe.
Can you share a specific moment when music led you to a new idea or scientific discovery?
I remember a particular moment while playing the violin, where a melody led me to reflect on the wave nature of light. It was while exploring these connections between music and physics that I began to conceive of the theory of special relativity.
As an advocate of peace and justice, you spoke out against nuclear weapons and advocated for nuclear disarmament. Do you believe humanity will learn to overcome the threats of war and nuclear destruction in the future, or do you see a path towards peaceful coexistence as something utopian?
I have always held out hope that humanity can overcome the threats of war and nuclear destruction. I believe that education, mutual understanding, and commitment to peaceful conflict resolution are fundamental to building a safer and more just world.
Now, let's end this video with the last question, not for any guest. A question for me. Did I learn something new during the process of creation of this project? At the beginning of the process of creating this project, I did not expect to learn too much. However, I was surprised by the many curious facts that I learned from my guests. From doubts about whether Erwin Rommel was a good German, Tesla's particular liking for pigeons, and Albert S. fixation for music, definitely a good experience that has taught me a lot.